12 stands for local news. And now, from Arizona's most watched station, this is 12 News Saturday morning.
At least every day in one class, someone will get a phone call. And
I know some people that use it like all the time. Every lunch period, they're on the phone for the whole lunch period.
There's a new class ring on Valley campuses. Teenagers are the fastest growing group of cell phone users, 11 million nationwide and counting.
She just started driving, and so if she had a car problem or a breakdown or something, she would have a phone to call us.
For parents like Sue Golem, cell phones can be a safety net and an easy way to keep track of their children.
I'm going to call her on her cell phone, see if I can get in touch with her and have her come over and join us. How's your day today?
For teens, they're the trendy way to keep in touch.
sometimes if I can't find one of my friends or something, I'll just call them. I'll be like, where are you? And they'll be like, oh, we're in the cafeteria or something.
All this talking can mean trouble in the classroom.
I grabbed my cell phone, stepped into the other room, and called and made my hair appointment, only to have my teacher come in and yell at me for using the phone in her classroom.
Most schools allow students to use their phones between classes and at lunch, but teachers take them away if they come out during class.
I've answered them for the students, tell them they're in class, don't call them again. But, typically if I see them in class, I'll take them, I'll hold them till the end of the hour.
Besides being a tool to talk, cell phones are also a means of self-expression. Funky colors and face plates let teenage fingers do the walking in style.
Everybody's got this phone and you want yours to be like different, so I got mine leopard to.
There's also antennas that you can put on the phone that will light up when the phone rings.
You need to comb your hair?
7 a.m. and things are hopping in the Farron's Gilbert home.
You need to come get your shot.
Mom Karen does diabetes testing on 3 of her 7 children. Then there's breakfast and snacks to pack.
Kaylee, let's get you dressed.
Everyone's got to be ready to roll by 7:45.
Okay, let's go. Go, 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 go.
Everyone piles in and it's off to school.
Bye, have a good day.
Then Karen gets ready for the rest of her day.
You need to find your bag and get it packed to take to Grandma's.
So how does Karen keep it all under control?
Day planner, most wonderful thing. So I just write everything down in the book, and I have to take one day at a time.
By 9:30, Karen's in class.
The name of our artist today is Who Can Figure It Out? Courtney.
A couple of errands, then Karen and Kaylee head home. Karen says the saying on a refrigerator sums up why she stays on the go.
What matters is if you made a difference in the life of a child. And I need to be where my kids are.
By 1, break is over.
Okay, anyway, I'll call Jana.
A church group meeting, work on a flyer for the school band, and then the real fun starts.
Hi guys, how was school?
Pick up the kids.
Seatbelt.
Stop at the music store, go over homework, off to scouts, piano lessons, then dinner's on the table at 5.
Are you done eating?
Because another son has a softball game. Pretty hectic, but Karen says they used to do even more.
And it got to a point that I had different things every day of the week that I was constantly driving them to, and it just got to the point where it was just too much.
Schoolwork suffered and the family spent little time together, so the Farrons looked at their priorities and slowed down.
Write down everything that you do during the day, and then look at it with your spouse objectively and say, how much of this really matters?
Try making one night family night and let your kids choose the activity or what you have for dinner. Cut down on extra stuff. Kids need time to be kids.
We aren't all going to have geniuses that are going to go to MIT with perfect SAT scores. But that's not to say that our children can't be very happy.
Karen's not done yet. There's a softball game and a band boosters meeting. But by 10, she's back home, where she says she needs to be.
I guess it all goes down to priorities, what's most important in your life, and I have to put family. Family's most important. Hi guys, I'm home!
Lynn Sue Cooney, 12 News.
The shooting at Columbine High shook Fire Chief George Pickett.
Well, I've seen too much death and destruction in 31 years.
He has seen death And he has saved lives. For 2 decades, Pickett fought fires in New York City. Now he's the fire chief in the town of Tolleson.
We want to make sure that we are prepared for any instances in schools.
Chief Pickett created an emergency plan. Every fire truck has a copy. It's information that could save lives in a school crisis.
The responsible people of the school or the school district, their phone numbers, their pager numbers, how we could recall them rapidly in emergency, where the power shutoff is to the building, how to control the energy to the building, gas, electric, where the exits and entrances are to each building.
Also, aerial photos of each school, and each school has an evacuation plan.
Instead of gathering information, we have already done so. This packet is presented to police when they need it, and so it minimizes time factor and safety to our children. We need to minimize that time factor up front, not after the incident happens.
It's time saved that could save lives, and hopefully it will never have to be used.
Tolleson is a wonderful community and a safe community. We just need to always, in every community, no matter how big or how small, we have to be prepared.
Skating. When else would be a good time to wear a helmet? Racing. When else?
Lucy Ranos used to be an intensive care nurse.
And I took care of children and young adults who were injured because they weren't wearing seatbelts or they weren't wearing helmets when they ride their bike, and it was very frustrating.
Now she teaches children to wear helmets, and you might think the way she does it is, well, sort of gross.
But this is really how soft your brain is. See how easy you can tear it?
This brain is made of Jell-O to show kids, even though their heads feel hard, inside it's soft.
The only reason it's black is because it's old blood. This person died about 10 years ago. So this is the
and a slice of a real brain shows children how the brain can bruise and a person can die.
And then he hit the curb so hard he broke that part of his helmet.
This cracked helmet saved a man's life.
Wherever you hit the street can hurt your brain. This is the back of
It's a hands-on lesson that hopefully makes children think to protect their heads.
Okay, boys and girls, we will see you next year.
It's a tough neighborhood. You know, there's a couple of neighborhoods in there known as drug road and whatnot because there's so many people either taking drugs, selling drugs.
Esther Ubano grew up in Glendale.
I've hung around with people in gangs, but that never called me. You know, I was never quite intrigued by that life.
She went to Glendale High School. So did her 6 brothers and sisters. Their parents came from Mexico and mostly speak Spanish.
I was raised with Spanish. I learned English in school.
Now she's learning at ASU, and she's full of Sun Devil spirit.
Right next to it is McClintock Hall.
Esther gives campus tours and plays piccolo in the marching band.
I think the marching band gives you the whole essence of being a Sun Devil.
And she's about to do something nobody in her family has ever done.
I'll be the first to graduate from ASU, yeah.
And she won't just graduate with 1 degree, but 2 degrees, 1 in history, 1 in Chicano studies.
Chicano studies is a fairly new degree. It's an interdisciplinary degree, and it's basically the study of Mexican-American history, culture, the arts.
She plans to teach junior high or high school history. Esther will also start programs in ethnic studies.
If you show kids what they've done, their people, their past, their history, you know, it gives them a sense of fulfillment, a sense of belonging.
Esther belongs at ASU and hopes more students will follow in her footsteps.
I love being a Sun Devil. I'm all ASU. I'm bleeding maroon and gold.
Hi, sweetie.
Isabella seems like a smart 6-month-old.
At this age, I think she's just so curious about everything.
But her mom, Allison, feels pressure to make Isabella even more advanced.
When I'm with some moms, you know, it's the whole, you know, baby competition thing. You know, what's your baby doing now? Well, my baby's doing this.
Some parents spend money on specially designed baby games, toys, videos, and music. But can these items really increase your baby's IQ?
What you want is a well-balanced child, and that comes out of natural experiences in life. You don't have to go spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on playthings.
Child experts say one way to boost your baby's brain is with books.
From day one, read to your baby.
Won't you play that again, Paula, please? You're not interested, huh?
She may not seem to be interested, but Isabella is listening to mom's speech patterns and watching her body language.
What that does is that adds to their neural development. It enriches the the brain connections that are going to be with them for the rest of their lives.
When a baby is born, the brain is unfinished. 100 billion brain cells don't know their jobs yet. They learn their jobs through sensory experiences like hearing, seeing, touching, and feeling. The more experiences a baby has, the more brain power she develops.
You got your toe.
Use everyday activities to constantly interact with your baby. It sounds easy, but experts say it works.
You know, you have to at some point trust that they're gonna grow up to be intelligent, smart little human beings if you raise them right, you know.
De un gran tirón.
When Maitzu Frederick was 15, she moved from Mexico, not knowing a word of English.
Horror, dijo la vieja.
She learned English in high school, and now she teaches in English and Spanish to kindergartners in Scottsdale.
And I want to give the same opportunity to all students that come to my classroom.
Half the children in Maitza's class speak Spanish, half speak English. She switches off teaching in English one day, Spanish the next day. The hope is all of these children will become bilingual. The Scottsdale School District, which spends $4 million a year on bilingual education, is trying to hire 35 more bilingual teachers so they can expand the program.
He hurried through the building.
At Holloman Elementary in Tempe, they do it differently. The first half of the day, Mrs. Ainstead teaches these kindergartners in English. The second half of the day, Miss Andrew teaches them in Spanish. Teachers say Spanish-speaking students learn English faster in dual-language classrooms than in traditional classrooms.
Once you know how to read and write, and you're literate in your first language, you can acquire the second language so much faster.
And English-speaking parents put their children in dual-language classrooms because they want them to become bilingual.
They want their kids to learn a second language, and they know it's going to help them later on.
To get into college, you're taking this test, and your score really means a lot.
I'm going to time you.
So it's scary.
What did it make you feel like when you would take a test?
Oh my gosh, you know, you're freaking out a little bit.
That was before Aubrey and Erica started a class at North High in Phoenix, learning things like how to pace themselves in a timed test.
I tell the students to divide the test into thirds and then write down at what time they should be at each of those points.
Diane Emmons teaches skills for taking tests.
23/5.
It helps to know that SAT questions start easy and get harder.
At the beginning, your answers are the obvious answer. At the end of the test, anything that strikes you as being easy is wrong.
Her husband George teaches other tricks, like what to do if you don't know the answer.
We try to teach them how to guess intelligently by process of elimination.
For example, he says with SAT questions about ethnic groups or professionals, you can eliminate answers that use negative words.
Angry skepticism? No.
And in some math tests, having a ruler is against the rules.
So if you take a small piece of paper off of the test booklet,
you make your own ruler. The skills taught in this class can make a big difference.
They can improve their SAT exam score by at least 100 points.
Okay, pencils down.
Alfreda Wilson made a long journey to this welding shop. She left the Navajo Reservation to be a student at the Maricopa Skills Center.
I don't know anything about welding, but I just want to do it because I know they make a lot of money and I like it.
John Stewart came all the way from Hawaii after 20 years of bartending.
What I'm interested in doing is working in like the aerospace or medical equipment field.
That willingness to make a big change can help you get ahead.
First 5 steps.
Jolynn Clark knows that employers will ask her students from the University of Phoenix.
What's their ability to adapt to change because the market's changing so fast?
Because you can have a shared vision. But
can they work by themselves but also on team projects? What's their project management abilities like?
And do you know how to do this, this, and this? They're looking for clusters of skill sets.
This is the website for our office that I created.
Nancy Westerfield learned how to do that as an administrative assistant.
We have to keep learning. whether it's on-the-job training or whether it's in your community in a formal education setting, as long as people continue to learn.
Back in the 1980s, Michael Comstock and Claretta Mack entered their careers in very different jobs. Claretta worked in super clean factories, making computer chips in dust-free rooms, while Mike was moving dirt with a utility crew. Neither had a college degree, but both wanted to learn new skills.
Just kind of got different areas of work under my belt and wanted to advance. I wanted to work on organizational skills and just advance myself, and that's when I went into engineering technician.
That job controls precise adjustments in the complex process of making computer chips.
Perhaps change gas flows, change temperatures.
Claretta gained those skills mainly through on-the-job training and classes within her company, Microchip Technologies in Chandler.
If you take the total number of shares...
Mike Comstock took classes too and still does, usually after work. They helped him earn promotions that moved him out of the ditches and behind a desk.
It's enabled me to communicate better, to be able to prepare and plan and organize activities around multiple priorities that my job requires.
Mike has stayed with the same company, the Mesa City Utilities Department, which helped pay for the classes to earn his college degree.
It's kind of nice to be able to check that box that says, do you have a degree?
Someday, Claretta will know that feeling. She's determined to get her engineering degree.
That mindset is what takes you where you need to go. You have to have that that's just fundamental. You have to think that way.
Tuition, books, room and board, and don't forget spending money. College can easily cost $10,000 a year, a bill few families can afford to pay out of their pocket. That's why the competition for scholarships is so intense.
Basically, I'm trying to boost up my ranking because I'm so-so right now, top 6%. And I gotta boost that up and then my SAT scores and just do well in school and come to school.
I have it on my calendar.
But it takes more than good grades to get a scholarship. Students need to start building their resume their freshman year by joining clubs and doing community service.
They need to show leadership skills. They need to show that they can stick to something.
The high school guidance office is a good place to start looking for scholarships, but the search shouldn't end there.
The search for a scholarship can seem overwhelming. There's just so much out there. So now a lot of students are turning to the internet. This is FastWeb. It's a totally free site. A student goes in, puts in their own individual information, and FastWeb helps find their scholarship.
Many civic groups and companies also offer scholarships. You just have to ask.
There are people out there that don't give out their scholarships and people don't sign in the applications, so I think that if I do that and send them in, I have a good chance of getting them.
It's also essential for parents to help.
The kids who are most successful at getting scholarships have the parent who has the file at home, who will call me up and say, I need a transcript sent to this organization.
Even though the search is exhausting and the competition is fierce, students say finding the money to pay for college is not as overwhelming as it sounds.
There's scholarships for every single person, whatever you can think of. Just don't be afraid of it.
Goodbye, pencil sharpeners. Hello, sign-on screens. Family PC Magazine calls Thunder Mountain Middle School one of the top wired schools in the country.
We decided that technology is a place to go, and whatever it took, we were going to go there.
Students log on and start learning.
We research for like social studies. If we're doing an essay, we just go on the internet and learn new stuff about it so we can write it down in our essays.
It's not just state-of-the-art computer labs.
We got scanners and digital cameras and things like that.
Everyone in this class sitting here is a poet.
Classroom TVs are hooked up to teachers' computers. Students start off slowly with a keyboarding class in 6th grade. By 8th grade, they're doing PowerPoint presentations and designing web pages.
I like going on the internet, finding things I don't really know, and then really like thinking about them, writing them down.
And then you know what you're doing?
Once teachers get used to the technology, they're wild about being wired. Some, like Lydia Henry, even take a special class where they build their own computer.
I think the more that the teachers are exposed to the actual building of computers, that they're not really that scary because they're not going to break.
The gadgets and goodies are paid for with bond money. Teachers say it proves no matter how small your school, you can stay on the cutting edge.
Yeah, we're way out here in nowhere, but we do have wonderful access to what's going to be happening in the real world when these kids leave.
Anytown didn't end last summer.
If I see my friends make some kind of rude joke or bad comment, I'll just be like, hey, that's not right, just stop it.
You build community at your school.
It changed the way Gilbert High students think and act. Now they hope it will change these children too.
Don't you think everybody needs to respect everybody no matter who they are?
The high schoolers hold a special retreat with students from Patterson Elementary.
Please stand up if you are Asian American.
The younger kids talk about their differences and learn why it's good for everyone not to be the same.
What, have you been discriminated?
I want to know everybody around me, and it's like all their differences, some are exactly like me and some are not. And if we didn't have all our differences, the world would be boring. Hey guys.
They perform skits to show how racism and hate can hurt.
You're not wearing a gray shirt, sorry.
Why respect and acceptance are important, and it's a chance for the high schoolers to set a good example.
You have a blue shirt on. No. We're what they look up to, and if they see us doing that, then that's what they're going to do. And we need to show them that we need to be nice to each other and positive, because that's what they'll take home from that. I want to stay with this, and hopefully they'll make a difference in everybody else's life, not only ours. Underneath, up, upon, at the top, before, behind.
In Ginger Barron's class, kids know their prepositions.
Optimal.
Yes.
But getting them to this point is more challenging for the Phoenix School District than others.
Economic background obviously has to be a factor, but we don't let it get in the way.
These kids are among the poorest in the nation, so educators at Lowell School work harder at teaching reading skills.
We learn how to read and write better.
Harder to take them on field trips.
Not just teaching from books, because they don't get it if it's just on paper. They have to feel it.
And harder to keep them interested.
You know, you ask the kids, who wants to be a lawyer? Who wants to be a doctor? Who wants to be a drug addict? You know, who wants to be a gang member? You don't have kids raising their hands. But if they don't make good choices today, that's a very likelihood what could happen to them.
Teachers say less money doesn't equal less of an education because ultimately caring about a student is what makes them succeed.
The greatest gift a parent can give their children is time, love, and belief in them. And it doesn't take money to do that.
Get busy, color guard, get busy.
We're going to the Rose Bowl 2001. And we've been practicing every day.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Lots of practicing, lots and lots of marching streets to exercise so we can get our legs in shape, our arms in shape.
All the symbols are dying, where all of our arms are almost to fall off.
Can't be that tired. This is only about half a mile. Only got 5 to go. Hey.
Marching 5 miles didn't seem like that hard until you actually try it.
It's just a lot of hours of practice, but fun.
Rose Parade is really big. Way too many people watch this televised, so it's kind of scary.
It's really exciting. Not really nervous, more anxious. I'm really excited to be marching in front of that many people and to be marching with my friends. It's going to be fun.
It's just so exciting to be like, we're going to the Rose Bowl, you know? I mean, people will come by and they're like, oh, you're from Highland, you're the ones going to the Rose Bowl. It's awesome.
Board. The whole idea is to get
These students are part of Jobs for Arizona's Graduates, or JAG.
And if she gets them donated, we can like raffle or something like that.
If we do want to sell the food ourselves.
A statewide program that empowers students to finish school and become successful.
So it's a career class, life skills class, where we try to prepare them so they can go out and get their own jobs.
Right now I'm going to ask the team leader of
At Carl Hayden High in Phoenix, students in JAG organize campus events, do community service, and learn career skills such as resume writing and communication.
getting a radio station.
Mary Mullins was part of JAG last year and graduated in May. After having her daughter, she says JAG helped her stay focused.
I think it would have been a lot more difficult, especially in my senior year, to have got everything together to graduate, considering being pregnant and everything.
She says what she learned in the classroom has also helped her in the working world.
I'm not as shy as I was, that's it. Like, I can say things that are on my mind now and not be afraid that people are going to say something negative about it.
Mary's not the only success story. 90% of the students who go through JAG at Carl Hayden graduate.
I truly believe if they didn't have this class, about 60–70% would graduate, and we lose about 30–35% of it.
Some students go on to college, others get jobs, but JAG doesn't end there.
We have to keep a monthly contact. If they get a job, I need to contact their employer personally twice.
Because it's good to see like the reaction, you know, when they know that you're doing good.
Group 5, please get your computers.
This is our textbook right here.
These students at Village Meadows Elementary don't use books much anymore. They've got brand new laptops instead.
They use the computers for pretty much every subject.
I found the calendar on a different website.
Deer Valley School District bought the computers for 2 fifth-grade classes as a pilot project to raise student achievement and improve access to technology.
We're like a guinea pig, sort of.
So far, it seems to be working.
I think I've learned more this year.
You could have it go full screen if you want. That'd probably be really cool.
Instead of him teaching, like saying, like showing us up on there, we actually get to do it physically on our computers.
Books still have a place in this classroom for reference and for pleasure reading, but the computer opens up a much bigger world.
Oh yeah!
The variety, the information that we're getting off the internet, CD-ROMs is much more current, and just the volumes.
But before they could strap on their special backpacks and take their computers home, students had to prove they could take care of them.
The week before they brought them home, they had to bring an egg home every day in a bag, and there wasn't supposed to crack it or anything.
Make sure you save your work.
No breakage yet, just better performance in the classroom.
I kind of wanted to be sick every day. I never wanted to go to school, and this year I hate when I'm sick.
They're excited about it, and it's neat to see kids excited about education. And that's what it's all about.